Today is 9/11. 22 years ago, on November 11, 2001, at 8:46 in the morning, Flight 11 flew into the World Trade Center North Tower. Better said, crash. All aboard Flight 11 are instantly killed, and the employees of the tower above the 91st floor are trapped. 18 minutes later, a second plane crashed into the flight American Airlines 175 South Tower. Within an hour and 45 minutes, the buildings both collapsed. American Airlines Flight 77 crashed into the Pentagon at 9:37, causing partial collapse. The fourth and final flight, United Airlines Flight 93, intended for the nation's capital, crashed in Stony Creek Township Field near Shanksville, Pennsylvania. Alerted by the families and news, they took over the plane and diverted the attack that it was most likely directed to the White House, Capitol, or near buildings. It's 10:03, and America has sustained the greatest attack on American soil since Pearl Harbor. 2,977 died in the watchtowers, which of them, 343 were firefighters. 184 died in the Pentagon. 40 individuals died in the Flight 93 near Shanksville, Pennsylvania, and the other related deaths caused by environmental elements and suicide has not been accounted for. 9/11, as any American living at the time, was a tremendous success and caused a tremendous impact in our lives at the moment. I was working in a big car company, and I visited the business office briefly for paperwork. And they showed me and they said, "Did you see this? Did you know?" And I look at it, and in my eyes, in my heart, I knew what it was. 18 minutes later, somebody came running and told me that a second plane has crashed. By this time, we all have stopped working, and clients, customers, workers, everybody was glued to the TVs in the business. I remember somebody saying, "What could this be? What is this? What's going on?" And I turned around and I said, "This is a terrorist attack." And the person looked at me and said, "What is a terrorist attack?" And I felt probably what every American or every person in the world felt, with a few exceptions, felt the tremendous pain and loss and sadness that we were suffering in America. On the personal level, my life changed forever. I did not lose anybody in the attacks, are not included in the watchtowers, but every member of my family was involved in the war that came after. That left me impacted and forever tied with the events of 9/11. Almost 1 million people die in Iraq and Afghanistan and the Middle East to no fault of their own, other than an unjust invasion that happened to their land. And the involvement of the American Allies forces that came to avenge the events that happened in 9/11. Now we all know the story, as we know what really happened in 9/11, and we know that it was Saudi Arabia naturals, and it was Al-Qaeda that trained them, and it was Saudi Arabia, the ones that help monetarily to fund this debacle. It is with sadness 22 years later that we remember 9/11 and the victims and the consequently victims that, to no fault of their own, were affected by this event. It is 22 years. It has affected my family and many others. That left me with disabled veterans in my family. And I just wanted to remember today, 9/11, 2023, 22 years later, a disaster in the making.